Hi there folks, so I'm going to be putting up a garden fence for a vegetable garden, and I've searched online, couldn't really find a specific fence for my application that's for a sloped uneven ground, so I figured maybe I'll put one up and it may help somebody. I did use some suggestions from other fences I found, but this is what I'm going to do, and I'll have it, I'll just try to show it step by step. For now I'm just trying to map out the area which I'll be putting up the fence for. I'm going to be putting in 4x4s in cement in the ground, and I'll be wrapping it in chicken wire. I will not be installing any panels in the middle, so having it set perfectly square is not so much, not as important as in some other cases, and also because my ground is uneven, it'll be even more difficult to try to put panels in between the posts. So what I'll be doing is basically, I measured just to have a fairly square garden, and actually when I measured it later, the angles did come out almost perfect the way I did it. I just measured same distances from that vinyl fence for those two posts, and then the same distance from this corner post and the first one from the house, and then I just measured same distances going in the opposite directions, and the angles came out almost perfect. I ran a string and I measured distances for the interior posts. As you can see, where the little wooden sticks are, this is where all the posts will go in, and here's the gate. The two posts in the middle will be for the gate. I know there's many people saying online it's not a good idea to install posts in cement, but there's other people, you could probably find information that it's not a good idea to install posts in just about any material you can think of. So I'm going to be doing it in cement, and as soon as I get to digging holes, I'll get to my next step and post either additional videos or add on to this one. Thank you. So guys, I finished digging up one of the holes for the corner post, and as you can see, when I was getting ready, I picked up one of those augers to help me with the digging, as I've dug many holes in my property before and it's very rocky, and it's just I've had terrible experiences, so I thought this might help. And as you can see, these are some of the boulders almost that I had to get out from this one hole, and there's just tons of them in here mixed with this dirt. And what I found is that this thing does not work well. Even though it helps with digging out the hole and makes it maybe a little quicker and makes the hole neater, it just, when you hit one of these rocks that's wedged in there, the rotor stops and the engine starts spinning, and on a couple of occasions it literally almost twisted my arm off, and I still feel it in my elbow. So you have to be very careful. When I was finishing up, I basically just kneeled down next to it, put it against my body, my legs, just so it does not twist when I hit one of these rocks. And it did go quickly through first maybe 3/4 of a foot, but then it was just going 3-4 inches at a time. It would get stuck. I'd dig it up, work one of the rocks out. I used a pickaxe, a couple of shovels, a trench shovel, another shovel, just to try to loosen them up, and I was able to dig 2.5 feet deep in the end. I have 4x4 by 8 feet tall posts, so they should be third of the height of what's above ground. A third of it should go underground, so I have 2 feet underground, 6 feet above ground, and I made 6 inches extra. The 2.5 feet is there. 6 inches is for gravel, for drainage, so I put 6 inches of gravel on the bottom. I pounded it in with the 4x4, and now I'm gonna put the concrete in. It's a quick mix, so I'm just gonna pour the concrete and then put water on top of it. I have one of these levels, make sure the 4x4 is level out, and then I'm gonna continue with the other corner post. I was thinking about digging the holes first, but the amount of time it took me to get through this one, I figured it doesn't make sense, because I'm gonna dig a couple holes. It'll be the end of the day, and I may it rain during the night and the holes might collapse and it'll be just work wasted, so I figured I'm just going to do it one at a time and see how it goes. I used drainage rock I picked it up from Lowe's, I believe. Most of the things I picked up were from there, but you can go either Lowe's, Home Depot, or any other home department store and pick this stuff up. Again, I'm in northern New Jersey and it's very rocky in this area, so I probably wouldn't buy this again, the auger, and just try to go the manual. Maybe you get a manual auger, the one that you twist. See how that would work. Maybe it would be a little longer, but be a little safer maybe, and less expensive in the long run. But in either case, since I have it, I'm going to try to use it, see if it gets any easier, and I'll post more videos as I get more work done. Again, as you can see, this is all this is on a slope. It's a hill. I don't have to worry so much about sloping the cement away from the posts like usually you would do, just because it's a slope and the water is going to continue running here. Again, it's uneven also. There's a little, if you see in that corner, there's a kind of a mold. So it's not only sloped, but it's uneven ground, and hopefully this will work out. I'm going to wrap my 4x4s with chicken wire and probably put some kind of wooden boards on the bottom just to make sure it's level with the ground and nothing can get underneath. And I'll probably have to put something in the ground or on the ground and away from the fence to make sure the woodchucks and skunks can dig under it. Thanks again, and I'll be posting in the near future. Hey guys, wanted to do another update on my vegetable garden. As you can see, I finished setting the posts in. There's 12 of them. The way I did it is I set the corner posts, then I ran string from corner to corner to help me set the posts that are in the middle, make sure they're in a straight line. It worked out fairly well. I do have an update on the auger, which I gave a pretty bad review in my last video, and I actually have I changed my mind a bit after going through a number of holes. Even though I still have to make a lot of stops to clear out the rocks, it actually came in pretty handy. When I didn't have any problems with it jamming on the rocks, it went through the soil very quickly, and it did help me quite a bit with drilling the holes. I did use an 8-inch bit for these 4x4s. They do suggest you should have a hole that's 3 times the width of the post. These posts are actually 3.5 inches wide, the 4x4s. So technically you should have about 9.5-inch hole. The 8-inch bit actually ends up drilling a hole that's a little bigger than 8 inches, just because it never goes straight through. Plus you have to clear out some gravel or dirt, and the hole becomes bigger as you go down. So it worked out fairly well. As you can see, I'm removing the sod right now. I opted for a manual method. I just use a shovel because this is a slope. I could just sit on top, kind of push the shovel under the grass with my legs, and then I clear it by removing the sod by hand and dumping it into the woods. It's just grass, and it's gone fairly quickly. It'll probably, to clear out this 20 by 18 area, it'll probably take about 6 to 8 hours total. I am doing it over a number of days just because I don't have 8 hours on a single day to do all this. I usually do it after work or the weekends. When I get done, I'm going to start hanging the chicken wire, and when I'm ready, I'll follow up with another video. Thank you. Hey guys, so as you can see, I finished putting up the fence for my garden built on a slope, uneven ground. I put chicken wire around it, and what I found is that on the slope, basically, especially since my posts, the distances from post to post are not exactly even with each other. There's different levels of slope between each post. I couldn't just run the chicken wire straight. I was able to do that on the back end, just run straight, stapled it. I actually ended up cutting the chicken wire at each post going up the hill because it just wouldn't work. The angles were too much, so I ended up cutting, adjusting. It actually went pretty quickly. I finished putting up the chicken wire somewhere between an hour to 2 hours. I also built the gate. As you can see, I used 2x4s and 1x4s to make it more sturdy. I don't have a video of how to build it, but basically I measured the width of the gate, then I cut 2 boards of the width of the gate, and then there are 2 widths shorter than the gate. Then what you want is you want to measure the height of the gate that you want to make it, and just cut 4 boards of the same length to put it together, and then basically you just piece it, kind of put it like a puzzle, so that you can screw them together. Put up a little gate latch and a couple of hinges. It's holding up pretty well, however I do see it's already separating here a little bit, but not much I could do about that. Probably just the gravity pulling it down. I might have to adjust it one day. I've actually removed all this out already, and I didn't have a tiller, so I just used the shovel to turn the soil. Added some organic compost and soil and peat moss, and I'll be planting probably today or tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, so my garden's pretty much finished. The one on the other project I'm gonna do is I'm gonna secure the ground. Hey guys, so my garden is almost done. I have one thing left to do, and that's secure the ground from any critters from digging under or squeezing in under the fence, because actually right now it's fairly easy as the chicken wire is kind of soft and you can just push it back and get right under there. So what I'm going to do is I have some 1x4s and some 24-inch chicken wire that I'm going to staple to those 2x4s and then just nail them from post to post, and then spread the chicken wire out maybe 18 inches or so, and staple it to the ground. With commercial staples, they're about maybe 6 inches long, so nothing can get under there. Other than that, I built trellises for my beans and cucumbers. I just bought 2x2x8s, cut the legs to about 6.5 feet, and most of them are 8 feet long on the top, because that's how long my beds were, except for this last one I cut to about 7 feet. Again, the feet itself are about 6.5 feet, and I think they're about 1 foot on the ground. And actually probably next time I'll cut it, if I have to make them again, another 6 inches shorter, just because it's hard to I'm sorry, there's just some kids and bikes and quads riding by. As I was saying, I'll probably make the legs shorter because it was fairly tough to get them in the ground about 1 foot deep. They're very sturdy, but I ended up damaging a couple of the boards because how hard I had to hammer it down. But anyways, the trellises on them are just regular 5x8 trellises I got at Home Depot. They're about $3.70. There's also 5 of them, and as you can see, I got all kinds of stuff: snap peas, beans, there's the yellow beans, radishes, strawberries, and the left side is all tomatoes, peppers, and some watermelon and Brussels sprouts on the end. This garden is all organic. This is my second year. Last year I just had a little tiny 3x5, maybe and 8 tomato plants, Camparis, and I had a lot of tomatoes on those 8 plants. Hopefully it'll be better this year. Last year all I used is the Job's organic fertilizer from those. This year I already put in a ton of azomite, Epsom salt, and I'm using the fish fertilizer also. And I'm going to be using the Job's fertilizer as well, because it just was really good. It did really well last year for me on the little area that I had, and I didn't really have any additions, anything. I didn't really add anything to the soil to amend it, so I thought my plants did really well with the Job's organic fertilizer. You can see some empty spaces here. Some of the plants didn't come up. I actually ended up pulling a few of them out because they weren't looking too well, and I replanted new seeds today. Hopefully they'll come up quickly. It is kind of late in the season, but I planted even later last year and still had plenty of tomatoes. I'll touch back with you guys when I install my ground protection, show you how that's done. Thank you.